everybody, and welcome back to the Best Friends Club Podcast. My name is Charlotte.
My name is Fizz.
And today we are going to be discussing another deleted danisnotonfire video, Epic Prank Off.
Yes. It's a very epic video. It's
As said in the title.
it delivers what it says it will, definitely. Um, this is a fun one. This is a very funny classic Dance on Fire video. That's not like one of his mini essays, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I said one of my notes was actually that the 2011 vibes are off the charts in this video.
The memes, like it's quite like it's very dated. Like it's very 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 2011. My first thoughts initial are that he brings in kind of like this is peak Dan being mean to Phil, but it's also Phil just kind of taking it, I think, because he knows that this is the video, so he has to.
Yeah.
But he did say like this is the worst day of my life. So he's been doing this in one day. I thought it was over a few days, but this is an entire day of just hell.
He just crammed the ball in.
Yeah, poor Phil.
So, Epic Prank Off uploaded 1st of December 2011 and has now since been deleted, I presume, because it doesn't meet the vibes that Dan's going for on his channel anymore. Because there wasn't anything particularly sort of like problematic or not good about the video. So I just think the vibes were off for Daniel Howell.
Yeah, I think he was just like, this is kind of like a cringe part of my past, and I don't want it to be part of, which is fair enough. I'm so sad it's not on the channel, but at least it's been re-uploaded.
Yeah, so a little disclaimer before we start. This isn't, I suppose, technically a joint video because they don't do things together, but Dan is in the video and Phil is in the video too. So in that description, yes, it's a joint video.
Yes, yeah, for sure. It's not like a sit-down video where they discuss before they start pranking each other. Yeah, so first off, he starts the video saying, "Hey, dinosaurs." Is this the first mention of... Yeah.
That's my first note as well.
Like 1 second in, he says, "Hey, dinosaurs." This is the first time he said that in the videos that we've been covering, right?
He does, yeah. I'm going to have a quick Google to see if I can find where that originated from. Bear with.
What was, while you search, I don't know if you want to, what was Phil's audience? Was it Philosaurs? No, it was
Philians.
Whoa.
Oh my god, how could you forget that? You are a fake.
I'm a fake. I am a fake. Oh, because I'm so used to Danny's and Phillies. I also don't know where those came from. It's just something we started calling ourselves, I think.
No. I'm going to say this now. I'm not claiming that I started the Danny thing because I think it became a thing with other fandoms. But me and my friend Lucy, shout out to Lucy, who is definitely not listening to this podcast, we were like messaging and like we joked about calling each other like Danny Stannies. And I remember way back, like I don't even know, maybe like when the Danny thing started, I searched on Twitter like through every single tweet with the word Danny in it, and the very first one related to Dan and Phil was, I think, either mine or Lucy's tweet using the phrase Danny Stanny.
That is so iconic. I'm gonna accept this as fact. I think you started it.
I don't think I did. I don't think I started like the actual Danny thing, but the first use of like Danny Stanny and like that thing, I'm going to claim that completely. But I don't think that is what started the trend. But I'm claiming that we were the first people to use it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think it caught on, and then like Philly sort of got added to that, and then it was Fanny.
Yeah.
I think Fanny is something that must have been like a collective sort of adoption. I don't know where it came from, but everyone just started.
I don't know where that started either.
Yeah.
I'm going to write some notes. I'm going to try and Google the history of the etymology of Fanny because I'm intrigued now.
Are you going to do that now?
I'm not going to do that now. We'll do it in another
Okay,
episode.
okay.
Maybe
Because
for
I was
next week.
about to be like, we interrupt this podcast episode to do some research.
Live research on the podcast. No, so
Yeah.
dinosaurs with the name for his fans, because he did a poll, I think, or something. I think we've discussed before whether they were going to be called
Mm-hmm.
dinosaurs or Dantares, and he
Mm-hmm.
decided on dinosaurs or the Llama Army. Llama Army.
Mommy, that is for the future. I think that's a video. Um, llama. I prefer dinosaurs, 100%.
Yeah,
It's a better
same.
pun. Yeah.
It is a much better pun. But no, I don't know the origins of that. I presume that Dan came up with that himself, unless some of his fans started that. If anyone has any information, please let us know. I
Please let
know
us
that we
know.
say
Yeah.
that every episode to please let us know, and nobody does, but we're going to keep pleading out there, and maybe one day someone will listen and we'll have the answers to the information.
Please, this is a group project. It can only work if everyone's helping us out. You don't have to. It's not like obligatory. But if you have the knowledge, please share. Share the wealth.
Yeah.
Um. Yeah.
So he
So.
starts off calling us all dinosaurs,
Mhm.
and the first thing, I think we were discussing this before, is that it is, well, we don't know if it's an actual paid promotion with Tesco, but Dan is
Mm.
working with Tesco on this
Yeah.
video to give out a prize of £500, which is insane.
Which is an insane amount of money. I don't know how much it must have been more at that point, but I converted it to like my local currency, and that is a lot of money. I was
Yeah.
like, whoa, just to
I
like
mean,
give
even
away.
£500 then was like a lot of money, and that's a lot of money now. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
and also, I mean, you get free merch or something, right?
Yes, so because the Tesco thing wasn't international, Dan was going to pick his 5 favourite video responses and
Mm.
give them a free t-shirt and throw in like some glitter and a drawing of a llama. That's what he said.
Yes, that's what he said. That's what he promised.
Yeah, but we were discussing, we're intrigued as to whether, like, what were
This was
Tesco getting
paid.
out of this? Like, what was Dan getting out of this? Was Dan being paid to do this with Tesco? Like,
Mm.
why Tesco? Like, because I know he said that Phil had worked with them as
Phil
well.
had worked with him, yeah. And yeah, because there was no sort of obligation. I think at this point there were no laws in place for something like this. So internet people would do paid sponsorships and like paid work, but they had no obligation to mention that it was paid.
Yes, we
This happened
we
in
remember
like
the great Oreo lick race
2014.
debacle
Yeah,
of
yeah, yeah.
2014.
Yes, it was. That's also something that we will probably cover in the future. But
Yes.
that was like the big Spawn video series that lots of YouTubers did in the UK, and then everyone was suddenly like, "Oh my God, they were being paid for it, and we had no idea," and all of that. So it's very interesting. But what do you think? What's like your opinion on it?
I mean, obviously, just from the vibes that he gave off, it wasn't as if he was being paid for it, but like he must have been. Like, a brand isn't
Just a
going to
cut.
work with
Yeah.
Dan. Like, I don't quite know how many subscribers he had at this point in his life, but why would a brand like Tesco, a big company, work with him? Like,
Yeah,
if Dan wasn't going to be
that's what I
paid for it.
that's what I mean. Like, it's not even like a company that no one. It's Tesco. It's like
Yeah.
everyone goes there for their groceries. So, and what's the point of like the video series? So the idea is like you prank your friends, and the funniest ones get picked for money and whatever. I'm assuming they
Yeah.
can use this money to shop at Tesco, even though that's a
Yeah.
lot of money. um, but yeah, I mean, we don't know. You can let us know your thoughts as well. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, what was your initial sort of like? What is? I
Thoughts on the
wanted to ask
video?
what you.
My
Just
initial
generally.
thoughts were that this whole video just solidified my thoughts that living with Dan would be a nightmare, and he is an awful little man to live with, because it was just so chaotic, some of these pranks that he was pulling on Phil. I was like, how has Phil lived with him for over 10 years? Like, and how has he not, like, just got fed up of him? Because, I mean, I'm not saying that Dan does pranks like all the time, but
Mm-hmm.
just the vibes, just how annoying he was. Oh my god. But then I say that, I think Phil is also equally annoying, so they probably like balance each other out.
balance each other out. Yeah, he's like, I mean, he's an annoying roommate, so I can prank him and annoy him. The one that I would like that would have pushed me over the edge is the hairdryer one,
Oh, that's one
because
of my favorites.
it is my favorite prank as well. But if that happened to me, I would be like, you are buying me a new hairdryer. Like, you're not getting away with just putting flour in my hairdryer. Because I also remember I looked into the tweets because we can only look at Phil's tweets at this point because Dan has deleted his. And he mentioned like finding or not being able to use his hairdryer because he's scared there's more flour in it. So I'm like, oh my god. Um,
Poor Phil has been traumatized by hairdryers.
I know. Um, Something that also comes back is the million dolls he used. This is something
Oh
that
my
we've
god, that's
discussed.
one of my comments. So I've written my notes up going through like prank by prank.
Prank, prank, prank. Okay, so we can do that actually. That's more organized.
Yeah. Let's
Yeah.
let's get into it.
Let's
So
get
the
into it.
first prank that we have is the Robert Pattinson mask making a reappearance again.
Yes. What a
Robert
useful
Pattinson mask
present that
is
was.
the Robert Pattinson mask is now a friend of the podcast because we mention it that much.
The official character. Um,
This is one of my favourites. I think this is such a peak prank. Like
mm,
they've that on the
mm,
door, and then like you just mentioned Phil and his like 5 million towels on his body. Absolutely
mm-hmm.
unnecessary.
Completely. He justifies it. I'll talk about that later, but he does justify his use of that many towels in a tweet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not buying that. I think he's just a weird man.
He's just a weird man.
My other
Um,
questions about this are firstly, how did Dan know that Phil wouldn't be naked coming out of the bathroom? Because obviously we
I
know
was
Phil
thinking
has
the
gone
exact
en
same thing.
suite, so he
I was
wouldn't.
thinking the exact thing.
So
Yeah.
like he wouldn't need to be wearing towels because it's his own bathroom in his own bedroom. So how did Dan
Yeah.
know that Phil wasn't going to be naked?
Oh,
Just I
actually,
have so many
I might know
questions.
this. I might know this because
Okay,
for some reason Phil left his blinds open, which is another thing I don't understand. Like, get curtains. You're a grown man, and like close them when you get out of the shower. He was like, "Oh, I was worried. There was like it was freezing in my room, and the blinds were open, and I was afraid that a creepy man was looking in. So I was like, get curtains. Like, it's just not like a logical thing. I don't know.
I don't think Phil does anything logically in the nicest
Fair
way.
enough. It's the nicest way possible. Um, Once again, to be in Phil's brain. Yeah, yeah. 10 on 10 prank.
10 out of 10 prank for me. It was funny. The reaction was excellent. It was like harmless pranking, which is my favourite kind of pranking. Um, Also, right at the end, when he like pulls the mask off and he says in like this really sort of soft, fond voice of "Dan, I hate you," but like absolutely no venom in his words whatsoever.
That is one of my favorite I hate yous as well because Phil famously, especially for some reason in this era of Dan, Phil would always respond with "I hate you." That's one of my
Yeah.
favorite I hate yous for sure. What's the next prank?
Next prank I have written down is the cup of tea that Dan makes for Phil. Less probably a cup of tea and more just a horrible sort of poisonous beverage meant
Oh,
to cause Phil harm and pain.
yeah, it was tea. It was yogurt and salt,
Like
like a.
some salt. I think there was actually some like decaf, or so I think there was a bit of coffee in there as well. But, oh my god, it's absolutely
Mm.
disgusting. I don't know what Phil did to deserve this one because this one was just really mean.
It is. It's one of the meaner ones. I can't remember if he makes him eat anything else. I don't think so. But I think this is the only like food
Not in
related
this one,
one.
no. Yeah.
Yeah. I would be so suspicious after that to eat anything that Dan handed me. I'd be
Oh
like,
yeah.
no, you eat it. Like,
Just the combination that's so disgusting. There's like half a bowl of salt in there.
I know. It's such a waste of salt as well. Like, what are you doing? This is like the most 19, 20-year-old thing to do as well. Like, salt. is important, and the fact that you just dumped half of it just to make people laugh on the internet is just like, what is wrong with you?
I didn't like this one overall. This was not my favourite of the pranks. And then my other favourite bit of this prank was the only redeeming part of it was the bit where Phil stands up at the end and then starts chasing Dan around the kitchen. And
Yeah,
Dan is
yeah,
like,
yeah.
get away, get away.
That was cute. That was, yeah, that was worth it. And then he was like, be sick, it'll be good for the views or whatever." I thought that was
I
really
think
funny.
I think one of my favourite things about this sort of era of Dan and Phil is how like silly and like childish that they were, in a way that I don't think they are now. Mainly probably because they've grown up, both in like terms of content and age, and I think they're silly in other ways. But there was such sort of like a childish
Hmm.
playfulness between them in like 2011, 2012.
Hmm.
Um, and then also there's a clip coming back to me of when they went to Italy, which would have been in September of this year when with PJ and Chris. And there's that clip of them like playing tag on the holiday
Oh
of
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
Phil
In the
chasing
hotel
after
room.
Dan
Yeah.
outside
Oh,
the
is it outside?
hotel. Yeah.
Oh no, no, it's outside. You're right. You're right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I know what you.
And I just think there's something like really, yeah, like childish and like playful about how
Oh,
they interacted with one another in these sort of like 2 years. Um, I'm obviously I haven't
yeah.
rewatched a lot of the joint videos from 2012 in a long time, so I'm excited to get to those and see if my little hypothesis there stands up with like that playfulness between them.
Right. No, I'm excited to see that. No, but you're right. Like 2011, especially, they did. I think they did a lot of fun videos together as well. In
Yeah,
like, in the way that they traveled, and they did like Dan versus Phil in Jamaica, and that was last year, but I think it counts.
yeah,
And videos like this, and like the baking videos. I think you're right. They're very sweet, and like you start to see them like domesticate. I think, like, yeah.
yeah. I think it's
Uh,
because obviously they're living together, so they've got their dynamic has changed from people who like just saw each other once a week to now seeing each other every day and living together. So they're able to sort of bounce off one another.
yes. Yeah. Um, One of them was also. Wait, I'm moving on to the next prank. Is that okay?
That's fine. Yeah.
All right. So the next prank is the not safe for work computer laptop background that he changes it to. And Phil sort of comes and he's like, I don't even know how to change it back. And it's just like, that was also like a kind of harmless prank. I feel like that is funny. All Phil has to do is like not go anywhere with it. It also reminded me of recent story that he told in a video where he was like, "Oh, my laptop was connected to a screen in the other room, and I was looking
Oh
at."
my god. Yes.
Dear, yeah. If you don't know, like, if where are you? Why are you not watching Phil's videos? He talked about doing like some adult toys company had sent him their website to
Or like
check
an
out or
email.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he had opened it, but he didn't realize that his computer was attached to or whatever, like connected to a bigger screen in the other room. And apparently, builders who were in that room had seen it. So
Hilarious. Absolutely
hilarious.
hilarious.
um,
But yeah, this
yeah,
was, I thought that that one was a very like Dan vibe
yeah,
of a prank
100%.
to
Yeah.
change the background on the laptop to something just completely inappropriate and not safe for work.
Mm.
But yeah, very much enjoyed that one. The next one I have some notes about is the classic flower in the hairdryer prank.
Favorite prank. 10 on 10. No notes.
Favorite one,
Except for,
absolute
I'm, yeah.
no notes, 10 out of 10. Best prank, hilarious, ridiculous, funny, top tier. Should be win an Oscar. Deserves all the
100%.
awards.
Yeah. A bit evil because it was right after Phil took a shower and he got flour all over himself.
Another shower. So this is the next day after Dan had filmed all the other pranks, and Phil's having another
Mm.
shower and washing his hair. How dirty does this man
Mm.
get if he has to wash his hair like once a day?
That's true, actually. Maybe he didn't wash his hair the day before.
I feel like he did
Um,
though, because his hair looked a bit wet, and he'd got like a towel around him.
mm, now I'm not sure. Maybe it was the
Interesting.
evening? Interesting.
maybe. But who's washing their hair every day? Like,
Phil,
that's just Phil, apparently.
it's crazy that his hair looks the way it does when we know that he would dye it, would straighten it, and apparently washes it every single day. So how is it so luscious and
Maybe.
beautiful and
Honestly, it looks
shiny?
so soft.
Yeah, Phil, what babies are you
What's your
sacrificing
secret?
for this? Like, yeah.
Please share your hair care secrets.
There's a video, hair care routine.
Oh, that would be excellent. I know everyone is like begging. I know he did sort of like a mini skincare routine in a video. Was it his?
Hmm,
I think it was his sleepless night video. He did like a
one of them.
hair,
Yeah.
face or some sort of question video. He did like his skincare routine, which was basically like a bit of soap and some moisturizer.
Yeah, I
And
remember
then
that. I
Dan,
remember
I
he
think
used
Dan,
Nivea.
yeah, and then I think Dan answered this question on tour once, like the tour that he's just done, and he was basically just like, I just wash my face with water. And I'm like, no, I hate that. I hate that so much, that your skin
I
is so
hate that.
beautiful and soft and you don't have any skincare routine.
That's crazy. I hate
I'm
when men
hoping,
are
hopefully
like,
that will come
oh,
back
oh
to bite
yes.
him. Hopefully that will come back to bite him in like 20 years and he'll be all like wrinkly.
Oh no. I mean, bless them. We are the evil eye people talk about, I feel like. I mean, good for them for having good skin, but also please don't tell us it's just you washing your face. Clearly you're doing something.
Must be.
Um must
Something I
be.
do find interesting, though, that I think about a lot is I find it fascinating that, I mean, not fascinating, that's probably the wrong word, that neither of them have ever, like, suffered from acne. And, like, we've never seen pictures of them with, like, really bad acne.
Ooh, yeah. You're right though. I think Dan has talked about it maybe like as a kid, but we know that people in their like we get acne.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's so true. Not even like bad, like a
No,
pimples here
like,
and
nothing.
there.
They've always
Nothing.
just had perfect skin.
I
God,
hate
I
that.
hate men. I hate
I
men.
hate men. This is a side note, this is a tangent, but I was watching um the one of those like Vogue What's in My Bag videos and I was watching Kit Connors and he
Yes,
was
yeah, good
like
one.
this is right and he was like, oh, this is hand cream, and then he was like, oh, I know it's hand cream because I just read it, but I've been using it on my face. um and I was like, what the hell, if I did that I would break out. Or
Oh my
I mean,
God.
it's just I hate it, I hate it.
I hate all men.
I
They don't
hate
deserve to have nice skin.
nice skin, long lashes, which Dan I think has very beautiful lashes, if I right.
Yeah.
No.
I
Yeah.
think, it's not something I particularly notice, but I think all men have nice eyelashes,
Yeah, which they don't deserve. Again, what
which
are you
again
doing
they
with
do
them?
not deserve. Apart from, again, another tangent, Taylor Zakar Perez does deserve his nice long eyelashes.
Sorry, we're
If
just
anyone
having a
hasn't,
moment.
if anyone hasn't seen pictures of Taylor Zakar Perez's eyelashes, please go and look at them because they're like wings on his face. How the man has not flown away, I don't know.
uh, we
Speaking
currently
of
have
men,
like we're diseased currently by other men. Um,
diseased by other men. That sounds so weird when you phrase it like that.
I was gonna say. I mean, Taylor technically like that. I was gonna say like these are our white boys of the month, but Taylor's not white,
He's not white.
so that's what. So Nick
Just
is,
a
but
man
I
of the
don't
month.
think
Nick is, but Taylor's just a man of the month.
man of the month.
He does segue nice into we were talking about skincare. He has an excellent skincare routine and he's done a video on it for Harper's Bazaar, I think, which I would definitely recommend everybody go and watch because it is a treat for your eyes.
I will definitely watch it then.
I want you to watch it after we've recorded this and then
Okay.
send me like a commentary. Thank you.
Okay, I've got a homework assignment now, so that's great. Actually, like, I'll happily do that. I love those kinds of videos.
Oh, it's a really good one.
Okay, okay. I'll do it.
Anyway, back to the video and Dan and Phil, the other white men of the month,
Of the month, of the
of,
life.
of my
Like,
life.
yeah.
Unfortunately, they are my white men of my life.
Yes. um,
My other comment is, again, Phil's in his towels. He's just had a shower. Why is Dan still filming him when Phil is half naked? Like, could we not prank Phil at another time? Why does he always have to be coming out of the shower and half naked, wrapped in towels?
Yeah, it's very strange. How much does he trust that Phil is gonna walk out in a towel at all?
Yeah.
Like, and I mean, obviously, like, we wouldn't see the footage if he did walk out naked. Like, that's just not
No.
happening.
Can you imagine?
It's just not making it into the video. But then his prank would fail because he wouldn't be able to show us. But
Yeah.
it
And
would
then
have
again,
been,
at the end,
yeah.
we get another little I hate you from Phil, which again, no
Yes.
venom at all. Absolutely nothing. Said in the softest, fondest little voice you've ever heard.
Yeah, it just, oh, I hate them. I hate that something like this wouldn't. I mean, it's all fun and games, and if my friends did this, I would be mad for a bit. But he didn't sound like he was gonna be mad at all. Like,
No.
he just like, oh well, it is what it is.
That's Dan
Um,
again. Just being
aw,
Dan.
just being Dan in his Dan world, doing his Dan things.
Doing his Dan things. Some other just general comments I have about this last clip of the prank. Phil's room is so messy. It is very stressful to look at. The bed looks so untidy. Everything else looks so
Mm.
unorganized. And he has 3 glasses of water on his bedside table. 3. 3 full glasses of water. Why does
You know,
one man need 3 glasses of water?
I did not notice that. That's very stressful, actually. What if one falls without like and breaks in his messy room?
In his messy room, yeah. And my thinking is, are those like 3 glasses of water from like 3 days? Like, does he have one every night and he just doesn't take the glasses down into the kitchen? And
You
they're
have
just
to
in
assume.
there?
Yeah, you have to assume, right?
I'm
But
just like, Phil,
also,
tidy up, please.
literally, I feel bad like attacking him, but also just like because I mean he's not prepared to be filmed at this point. This is his
No,
natural state of being. But
there's
also,
natural habitat.
yeah, this is natural habitat. When you realize Amazing Phil is just a man. Um,
Wow, that gif of that man and his mind being blown. That's me right now. You're just saying that.
oh, like oh, that's kind of. I had no idea. I know he's messy. Like we know Phil is messy, but I didn't notice the glasses at all. That would
Yeah,
stress me out. Yeah. Um, I hope he has changed. That's all I can
I
say.
think he has. I think especially now they own this property that they're living in now.
Mm.
They're also older, so I feel like they probably
Oh
are a little bit
yeah.
tidier. He was 24 when this prank video was
Fair
filmed, so
enough.
he's not going to be a tidy
Fair.
man.
Yeah, yeah. He's quite. I'm 25. I wouldn't do that. But also, again, he's just a
He's a
man.
man. He's a
He's a man.
man. Dude,
Unfortunately, need to
unfortunately,
need to remind.
we can't expect too much from him.
Yeah. Oh God. Um. Anything else? You teased a little something before recording. What is
Yes, so
it?
I thought that we could introduce a new segment to the podcast, which I'm hoping now that we're getting into actual more sort of joint content again and not just random videos that have
Mm-hmm.
been deleted, we could introduce a little segment where we discuss the outfits that they're wearing in the video.
Of course, fan outfits would suggest such a segment.
I feel like they're, even aside from me, their clothes are such like a huge thing in the fandom that people like talk about and discuss. It's like,
Hmm.
oh, that's my favorite Phil t-shirt, that's my favorite Dan t-shirt, that's my favorite like Dan outfit, and like people have gone out and bought clothes that they've owned because they've liked them. So I thought it would be a little fun discussion that we could talk about. I mean, I don't think it's going to be a huge segment, but we can discuss our thoughts on the particular items of clothing that they're wearing in the video. Now, Phil, as we know, his outfit was towels in this video.
He had like a plaid shirt here and there, like
He
one or
did, he
two.
did. I don't have a lot of comments on that. My main comment was about Dan's blue drop dead jumper that he was wearing at the beginning and at the end. Um,
Ooh.
I like that jumper. I think it's nice. I'd give it a 7 out of 10. But in my opinion, it's a little bit too blue for him. It's too much colour. But it is, I feel like, a classic Dan jumper of the time.
Yes, I agree. Now that I was gonna say like I'm blanking on it, but I suddenly just saw it in my mind's eye. That is a very he wore it quite often.
He did.
Yeah, that's a very classic Dan outfit. Phil is very into his plaid and his checkered shirts, and was
Yes, he
for a
is.
very like well into 2018, he was wearing these shirts. Um, but yeah, he was mostly in towels, wasn't he?
He was. He was mostly in the towels.
They also loved like this is in general they loved wearing their merch in videos.
They
They loved
did,
wearing
yeah.
their dinosaur t-shirts and their feline t-shirts. Um, great advertising. But I love this segment actually because at this point they are going to be wearing clothes that we will recognize, and we'll
Yeah.
see like
Now we're
I'm
getting into
excited.
2012.
Woo, I'm so
Exciting. Very exciting.
excited. We have like a month of this left of this year.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then we're into 2012. Really exciting times. So yeah, so that's Charlotte's fun little fan outfits pod segment. Do, 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 do. Maybe we'll come up with a jingle. If someone wants to write a jingle for that segment, send it in to us and we'll add it into the podcast. I have no
We'll add
jingle writing capabilities,
abilities.
so if someone wants to do that, I'm more than welcome to accept that.
For now, I think the bit where you did the jingle, I think we can use that as like our
Okay.
transition. until we get, I'm being serious. Until we get one, that's what we're using.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
okay. Just putting
So
more
my
work at the
last,
editing.
yeah, more work for us during the editing. Fantastic, Fizz. Thank you so much. I was going to say one more thing that I have as a sort of little segue, not really a segue, but an addition to this discussion about pranking is Phil's prank on Dan on Less Amazing Phil that would occur many, many years later in the form of Phil forcing Dan to eat some chili gummy bears.
Yes, he does. Yeah. When I looked up, I was gonna bring this up too. Whoa, our minds.
Whoa,
Uh,
spooky. Can you tell we
was it
run a
also?
podcast together?
Is it because we've known each other for over like 5, 6 years?
It must
Um,
be.
must be. Is it because you searched for Phil's response?
Yeah, I was just looking for also Phil pranking Dan to see if there was anything where he'd pranked him, and that was the first thing that came up.
Hmm. Because he kept saying he was like, "Oh, wait till my video." And there's no video, so. But many years later, Phil did prank Dan back. It's an
And he got
amazing
his own
video.
back. It was a good
Yeah,
video.
yeah.
No pun
Oh,
intended. It was an amazing video.
it was not less amazing. It was very amazing. Also, he continued to prank Dan quite a lot in videos after that. Like he would like jump out and scream in his face or make him eat things or make him wear things in like Phyllis on
Yeah,
fires in the future.
yeah,
I think he got his revenge and more over the years for all of those in that moment.
absolutely. And well
Yes.
deserved.
Yes, well deserved. Like Dan 100% deserved all of that. So that
That was epic prank off.
that was epic prank off. Do we have a rating measurement for
We
this one?
do. I have a rating measurement. How many towels out of 10 would you give this video, Fizz?
I would give this an 8. I'm taking 2 off because actually, yeah, no, I'm taking 2 off because the glasses thing bothers me now. So it's not
Now that I've
even
mentioned
like
it.
just like yeah, 8. What about you? How many doubts?
I think maybe like a 7.5. I think overall it's a fun video, but there's not really. I think because it's not actual like drink content, but
Yeah,
it's fun
yeah.
to watch.
It's
It's
like
just very of the time, which I think is a lot of our reasoning behind giving some of these older videos less than 10. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Perfectly
7.5
enjoyable though.
towels.
Yeah.
Very enjoyable. I'm glad that we've rewatched it because I haven't watched this in a long time.
Same. But also the way that like I remembered so much of it. I was like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, this is from that video. I didn't realize. But yeah. And what are we doing next week? I think it's gonna be.
Do you want to have a look or shall I have a look?
Wait, let me take a look. Hold on.
Okay, you take a look. I think I have an idea what it's going to be.
So next week we are getting into the festive season. We're doing how to make Christmas cookies.
Oh my god, yes. Yes. I'm very excited for this. Our
It's
second official Dan and Phil baking video.
and it's gonna be, if I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. We'll get to it. It might be the last baking video in this flat. It's the only one that we've covered, but it is gonna be like the last one before we get into London stuff. And they like
The,
with that,
fir- the first and last baking video in this flat, I believe.
yes,
Wow.
very fun video.
From my memory, I really enjoyed this video, so I'm excited.
Same. And I mean, we're not lining up our timeline exactly, but we are like in October. So hopefully, like, it'll help you get in like pre-festive vibes.
Yeah,
No,
apologies that all the Christmas videos are going to come way before Christmas, but you can go back and re-listen to them during Christmas.
you can definitely do that. Please do that. But yeah, that's the next video that we're gonna be covering. And this was Epic Prank Off. Thank you for listening.
Thank you everybody for listening. We will see you next time.
Next time. Bye.
Bye!